Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stefan and today I'll be talking to you guys all about my very first pregnancy symptoms, or what I experienced during my 2-week wait before I got my big fat positive pregnancy test. So I'll be going through lots of details here. I'll be going through a lot of TMI. So if you are not interested in hearing all about what was going on with my body, then just probably skip this video. But if you missed my last video, I am pregnant. I'm so excited. Today when I'm filming this, I'm in my 16th week of pregnancy. And so I don't have like everything fresh in my memory, but I did log everything on my phone whenever everything was happening. I used the Flow app to track everything. And so that's what I'm gonna pull up for the video. But if you guys want to hear about all the things that I experienced before I got my positive pregnancy test, then just keep watching. So let me just give you a little background. I did go into some of these details in my first video, so if you haven't watched that, make sure to check it out. But this is my second pregnancy. The first pregnancy we weren't actively trying, so I wasn't tracking necessarily ovulation or anything like that. God just decided it was time for us to have our baby, and we couldn't have been happier. He was just the biggest surprise of our lives, and we are so happy. He is 18 months old now, so we decided that we wanted the age gap not to be too big, and so we decided to start trying in, I think it was September. So we decided to use the ovulation test strips that you can, they're the easy at home ones. You can get them on Amazon, they're super cheap, because we wanted to increase our chances as much as we could. And so I decided to go ahead and track my ovulation. I also just like for a very long time had tracked my periods in general, so I had a general idea of when I ovulated already. So I highly recommend that you do that. But yes, let's see, it was September was the first month of our attempt. So I tracked, and I'll try and show you. So you can see all the ovulation strips. So you can see there where I put the S is where I had the ovulation surge. And this was the predicted day of ovulation. So of course you want to try around that time. Took a pregnancy test and it was negative. So that was the first month, and that was that. And we didn't think anything of it because we knew it took a long time to get pregnant for some people. And so yeah, we didn't think anything of it. The next month, we actually tried and we did become pregnant. We had positive pregnancy tests, and unfortunately we lost the baby. I'll be making a separate video on that because I want to go through all those details in my experience. It was so sad and hard, but I did end up miscarrying that. It was a chemical pregnancy. And then our doctor gave us the okay to continue trying. And so we decided and prayed that we were going to continue to try. So that brings us to the month of November. So you can see this is all of the test strips for the month of November. You can see the dates and the cycle days here. And around here is where we had the ovulation surge. So if you don't know, there's basically only a few days every cycle where you can possibly conceive, and it's around ovulation. So when the surge happens, you have a few days basically before or after that you can try do the baby dance, one would say, to see if you would be able to get pregnant. And so we did those things, and then we were successful. So I want to talk about the symptoms. So based off of the cycles that I've been tracking and the ovulation test strips, my predicted day of ovulation was November 8th. And so after that is when you start counting your days post-ovulation, or DPO. And so that's when I started to track any symptoms. And so mostly you don't start getting symptoms until it's around like implantation time, and that time can range for every person. So I will say, ever since I had Theodore, I have a lot of ovulation symptoms. And so you can like look that up, but you can experience things because of the hormonal fluctuations in your body. So the symptoms I'm listing here for like 1 or 2 or 3 DPO is most likely due to the hormonal fluctuation of the ovulation. So if anything, it confirmed to me that my body did indeed ovulate, but I'll still share with you guys anyways. Again, we're about to go into all the TMI, so just fair warning. For one DPO, I just logged diarrhea or pregnancy poops. Disgusting, I know, but if you know, you know. It's just not your normal number 2. The second day, same thing, pregnancy poops, and then backache, nausea, bloating, and constipation as well. So all the fun symptoms. So again, I think that has to do with the ovulation. 3DPO, woke up at like 2 in the morning, feeling super hot and nauseous with an uneasy, like upset stomach. I also was up with Theodore and just felt like really sick to my stomach, just like not well. I was constipated during the day, pregnancy poops in the evening again, and I felt so nauseous, like for like out of nowhere with a terrible headache in the evening. I almost felt like I had to throw up. So I think the nausea came from the headache. But yeah, that was the first day I was like, what is going on? And what was crazy is I do remember with Theodore, my very, very, very first symptom that I felt of pregnancy was hot flashes at night. And that never happens to me. That's not a thing that I've ever experienced before, unless I was like sick. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. For DPO, I wrote down worst day OMG. So I woke up with a really bad headache and nausea and uneasy and fatigued. Also really bad backache. I had pregnancy poops again and constipation, which is like not fun. It went away when I was able to sit down for a little bit. I felt really hot flashy again. Came back after Theo woke up from a nap since I was moving around. Like the nausea and stuff came back. And then again, it got bad and I was just super nauseous and crampy. I couldn't really enjoy my food. So I was just feeling so off. Like this was not just a little bit of nausea. This wasn't just a little bit of fatigue. I just felt really out of whack. Like not well. Like I had been eating something bad or I was going to be under the weather or something. And then 5 DPO, night and day difference from yesterday. So it was definitely a good turnaround. I woke up feeling just a little bit nauseous and a headache coming on, but I felt better after I ate and took Tylenol. And just so you know, I never get headaches. Like that's just not a thing that I have like dealt with at all. Unless I'm again sick or something. So the fact that I had these headaches like a couple days in a row was definitely alarming. I felt random cramps throughout the day and a random backache intensified a little in the evening as well. So I knew at this point my body was going through something for sure. So 6 DPO, I woke up with slight nausea again, but it went away in an hour or so. I had like a weird food aversion to the oatmeal that I made. I literally only took one bite and I couldn't do it. It was so weird. So I forced myself to eat a banana. Like I just didn't want to eat anything. I did eventually get really hungry at like 10 a.m. because I always am big into breakfast. So the fact that I only ate a banana was like not normal. And I only wanted something savory. So I made a biscuit breakfast sandwich, which is, I know, so specific, but like literally like nothing else. I just wanted something warm and savory and nothing else. And I'm normally not really picky about things like that. And then as the day went on, so many things sounded just like gross to me, especially sweets. So I ate a later lunch, which was a random assortment of stuff. Again, I didn't want anything sweet. I just wanted something warm and savory. My throat was swollen all day, which I don't know where I was like, okay, maybe I'm getting like the flu or sickness or something. I felt so tired and the rain did not help. It was like a rainy day outside, and so it just makes you want to do nothing. I still had soreness on my lower left side of my back, and it was like almost feeling like a bruise. It was very weird. And then at 9 p.m. I was nodding off already to like go to sleep. And that's super early for me. So I literally had to go to bed early. I told Christian, my husband, I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. So yeah, it was a whirlwind of a day. Then it was 7 DPO. I just wrote down that I was gassy and I was tired. 8 DPO, I don't have any notes, so I may have forgotten to log that day. At 9 DPO, all I wrote down here is that I got super emotional watching a movie. Like, it was Father of the Bride, and I just got like, I was like crying so much at the most random scenes. And like, I'm a crier, but like normally not at like every little random thing. So I was like, And I was getting a little worried at this point because it looks like I didn't write down much else after that. I was like, wait, my symptoms just like sort of went away. Maybe it's going to be another miss this month. 10 DPO. Midday started to get a terrible headache or migraine. It continued all night and into the middle of the night. Like, it was one of those things where I felt like any light or sound was so like making me like wanting to just like crawl into bed with the lights off and like not do anything. Again, like I said, headaches are not a normal thing for me. So the fact that it came back, then I was like, oh, maybe something is still going on. And this is so weird because I don't ever remember experiencing headaches as a symptom with Theodore. So it definitely threw me for a loop. 11 DPO. So this is where things get interesting. Early today, middle of the night, at like 2 a.m., I woke up super nauseous and hot, and head was pounding, and I was restless for 2 hours. Like, I literally couldn't go back to bed for 2 hours. And I woke up at 9 and was so nauseous, and my head was still pounding for a little bit. Then I went to the restroom and wiped, and there was a dark, rusty red brown discharge on the toilet paper. And it wasn't like a ton, but it was a little bit. So I was like, okay, either I started my period or this could be implantation bleeding. And I did experience implantation bleeding with Theodore. That was, I think, other than the hot flashes, that was like my first symptom that I experienced. And so I should mention, if you want to know all of the things I experienced with my first pregnancy and my 2-week wait, then make sure to watch the video. I'll link it down below. But I was like, uh-oh. So it was a waiting period at that point, right? No pun intended. But it was either I'm going to keep bleeding or it's going to stop. For breakfast, I made pancakes. And I literally couldn't stomach it. It sounded so gross. I forced myself to eat some eggs and sausage just to get some like protein in. And then the next couple times in the bathroom was still a brownish red discharge, but it was very, very light. It wasn't a lot. So I was waiting for it to intensify and get more bright red, like a period. And I also felt fatigue through that day. Then it was 12 DPO. I had more light brown / pink discharge. And it was really just when I wiped, and there was like other gross mucusy stuff mixed in there. So the fact that it never like intensified to like a full blown like bright red, I was like, I think this is implantation bleeding. To me, I was a little worried because it was like, it seemed a little bit later to implant, because I think last time it was around 8 DPO when I had implantation bleeding, but I mean, who knows? Who knows? And then 13 DPO, I didn't write anything down. I think probably because I was just so excited, and I was also prepping for, that was the week of Thanksgiving. I just remember being super busy going to the grocery store and stuff, so I may have just been super busy. And then Tuesday, November 22nd, which was 14 DPO, I had my positive pregnancy test. I like told Christian, I remember 13 DPO, I was like, okay, I think we should test tomorrow. 14 DPO, like, it's gonna be like either a dark line or not. And the reason, because some people like start testing at like 7, 8, 9 DPO, like pregnancy tests. The reason that we decided not to do that is because of our experience last time with the early miscarriage / chemical pregnancy. We found out obviously super early, and I wanted to like make sure and wait to give it enough time to where I wouldn't see a faint line and I would see a really dark line, because again, I'll make a separate video on that, but my first positive pregnancy test was a line. It was there, but it was lighter and it never really got darker with each test that I took. So waiting the extra like time, because you know they say a 2-week wait, so 14 days is 2 weeks. I wanted to be able to like be 100% that it would be a dark line, because if I saw a faint line that was positive, I was scared that I was going to get scared. So that's why we waited till 14 DPO. But we tested and it was positive and we were so excited. I have the test right here. We went with a first response because I feel like they're like the most reliable from my research. And obviously this is like 3 or 4 months old at this point, but you can see the lines are very dark. And so I was so happy to see those lines and to know that I wasn't crazy with all the symptoms that I was experiencing. That same day, I also took one of the easy at-home pregnancy tests that came with the ovulation strip, so I'll show you that one. So there is the test, and they're not as sensitive as the first response, obviously. So the line is a little lighter there. And you can also see I did not do a line progression because of, again, our experience with the chemical pregnancy. I simply did not want to obsess over the lines getting darker, and so that's why I decided to not do that. I originally, before the loss, I was really excited to do the line progression, but I was just like essentially scarred from that experience of not seeing it get darker. And so I just wanted to see the positive pregnancy test, and I told myself, we'll just find out at my first sonogram, of course, to confirm that everything is okay. And so luckily everything was perfect with baby, and everything is looking good so far right now. So yeah, those were all of the symptoms that I experienced in my 2-week wait, the earliest symptoms. And I know that it's different with every person. So if you are watching this video, because let's face it, I watched so many of these videos myself. So when I was in the 2-week wait, trying to understand, were other people experiencing these headaches? Were other people experiencing pregnancy poops? And so I know that they can be very helpful. So if you're watching this video and you're in that 2-week wait, then first off, praying that if you're wanting to have that positive pregnancy test, that is what you get. And if not, that just trust that God has His timing for you and your family. But yeah, I hope that this video was helpful for you in some way. If it was, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to follow my journey into becoming a mom of 2, then make sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking that red subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. We have a ways to go before this baby arrives. So again, I'm on my 16th week. Baby's due at the end of July, so sometime July. I'm in my 4th month, so we have a while. I have a lot of videos that I have planned on filming here. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!